Hi guys, no one is here. Today I'm going to do something a little different. While I know you all enjoy watching my epic decks full of trade cards, which have little resemblance with actual disciplines, I realized that it would be much more beneficial for you if I actually show gameplay of everyday starter decks, which every one of us will be experiencing at the early stages of the game. So in order to facilitate that and to show that no one cares, I have created a brand new account called No One Cares, started everything from scratch and created this mini series of Shiba Eternity No One's White Belt Chronicles. Today I will be playing Taekwondoje Discipline. Taekwondoje is a fighter focused discipline where you try to get as many fighters on the board as you can and improve them with every turn. As you can see, I have just a couple of trade cards, which I was lucky to acquire already, but 95% of my decks is standard issue discipline deck. My Shiba has some nice powers. Relaxing Moment is my favorite one. As for 2 barks, it gives a friendly fighter block, which can negate one attack of any magnitude of damage. It's great both for defending as well as attacking, as you will witness very shortly. This time I'm going second. When picking cards, generally I try to choose not the low bark cards, which can be played in the early game, but rather cards which can give great synergies together, and can be developed into a turning tide in later part of the game. Also, having a variety is quite important, so unless certain double cards work in synergy with itself, I would go for different cards just to have a greater choice of different situations that may arise during the game. The opponent has no 1 bar cards for his first round, or chose to save them for later. So I use Steadfast Halter to secure the board. As it's a guardian card, opponent's warriors will have to destroy it before they're able to attack my Shiba or any other cards. Opponent counters with Scrap, which is a beta card, and in original Greek sounds like Vita, and in American is Beta. A beta card means that warriors placed next to it would get 1 extra stat to their attacks and staminas. So the general rule when you do have a choice, it's always better to dispatch them first. Same thing applies to alpha cards, but with even greater urgency. Arcane Hylian is an eager card, meaning that it can attack opponent warriors as soon as it has been played, rather than after 1 turn like most of them. Here, the opponent does a mistake by attacking me with Crap. Doing so killed his beta card, reduced the stats of the Hylian, and instead of being left with 2 cards of 1/1 and 2/3 stats, she was left with 1/1/3 card, which, don't take me wrong, I'm very thankful for, but is not the very best strategy if you're trying to win. I go with Sansa Mana Fist, which stuns an opponent on Rampage, in other words on attacking opponent's warrior card. Opponent counters with Feral Tackler, which does 1 damage to opponent's Shiba on Rampage. She uses High Tackle spell, which costs 2 barks and deals 3 damage to my Shiba, and would have disarmed it too if I had any weapons equipped. Generally, it's very important to have cards which can disarm your opponent, as some weapons can get very nasty, and unless you disarm them, can bring you down quite quickly. Also, the opponent used Glass Claws, which is a weapon card costing 0 bark, and giving it to attack to his Shiba, which she uses to attack me. What you have to remember is when you are attacking with Shiba power, which is activated by the button just to the right of your Shiba, at the bottom left of your screen, your Shiboshi will not suffer any damage. But when you use a weapon to attack a warrior, your Shiboshi will suffer damage equal to the attack power of that warrior. So in my example, if the opponent attacked my warrior, her Shiboshi health would have gone down from 30 to 28 by 2 attacks that the Mana Fist has. But since she attacked my Shiboshi instead, her Shiboshi suffered no damage. Of course my warrior will live to attack the next turn, unless taken out by other warriors. So if you know for sure that opponent's warrior will attack you anyway, and you're not dying just yet, you might as well suffer that damage and destroy it with a weapon. For my next move I use Crossguarder, which doesn't boast 2 strong stats, but has a block on the Guardian trait. So the opponent will be forced to attack it, and the first attack will be negated. Also, I safely take out the Feral Tackler, as its damage is below my stamina. And this is exactly why I love Relaxing Moment power, as it gives shield which negates any amount of damage in the first attack. My Guardian withstood 4 damage and lived to fight another day, at the cost of just 2 bar. I play 2-toed Valiant, and don't ask me why it is 2-toed, when it's clearly 2-fingered, as he holds his limbs up like boxing hands, and not like dangling feet. Maybe Shaitoshi hears my Easter egg and drops a hint. Anyhow, it gives 1 extra stamina on Spell Surge, which I follow up with a Stand Guard spell, giving 1 more stamina, and granting Warrior Guardian, and adding 2 stamina in total, 1 from the spell and 1 from the Spell Surge trait. And as you have probably guessed, I polish it with another shield. I use the Mana Fist to stun the Hardclaw Mystic, and safely take out the Hylian, knowing that opponent has no active warrior card to attack with next round. Of course there are always spells like Talon Typhoon, which does 3 damage to the targeted fighter and 2 damage to adjacent fighters. When casting spells or attacks with different effects on multiple targets, it's always important to think what you're doing. Because the opponent has attacked the fighter on the left, she left both guardians alive, and it would take 2 separate attacks to clear them out, while they both can attack next turn. If she were to attack the one on the right instead, that guardian would have been dead, and the one on the left would have remained with 2 stamina, which is a much more advantageous position. So remember what no one taught you, always think before you shoot. And now I safely dispatch the Hardclaw Mystic, land my first attack on the opponent's Shiboshi, and add a 3rd fighter to my army. Butterfly Brave gives adjacent fighters Guardian on knockout, in other words when it is killed.
One eternity later.
Opponent uses Crimson Champion, a 6-bar card with Speedy Trait. Speedy Trait gives warrior a 2nd attack when its attacking turn comes, so it's a good idea to dispatch it before it does too much damage. I decide to use my only trait card at the moment, Gil Mask. It gives a +2 stamina aura to all my warriors while it's active, so it's a great boon when you have a lot of warriors on the field. Thus I will not be in a hurry to use the actual attack of the mask, as the boost is much more beneficial for me. And this is exactly the case when weapon stealing spells are really needed, as the effect of this weapon is very great. I pack another Lightfoot Swinner with an Eager trait for the remaining 1 bark. Warriors with Eager trait can attack opponent warriors as soon as they are placed, but as you can see cannot attack opponent Shiboshi until next turn. Still, the rest of my warriors are perfectly capable for the job. And now we are entering into the end game with heavy hitting cards in play. That is when having a lot of warriors on the field give an advantage. Because even with high damage, those warriors can only kill 1 card per move, unless they have speedy and 2 card attacks per turn. Opponent plays Herald of Tremors, a 7 bark card, which on takedown deals 1 extra damage to adjacent enemy fighters. As I described, Crimson Champion used 2 attacks to dispatch both of my guardians. So I replaced them with 2 more warriors and use the shield to safely remove the champion. The remaining 1 attack I used to deal a bit of damage to opponent Shiboshi, as attacking the Herald head-on would result in the loss of that warrior. Next challenge is Sawtooth, a 6 bark warrior without any fancy effects, but very pretty attack and stamina. And he uses 2 barks to cast a Ramming Strike spell dealing 3 damage to the target. And now she uses Tremor on my Butterfly Brave and kills my Lightfoot Swinner with the aftershock of 1 damage. Yet again, think before you shoot applies. If opponent attacked to Toad Valiant instead, it would be just as dead as a Lightfoot, but also Long Snout Chomper on the right would have gotten an extra damage too. Considering the fact that both remaining warriors of mine have attacks higher than the stamina Tremor has, it wouldn't make a difference that he would suffer 1 extra damage from killing Valiant. There's other calculations which you have to make on the go to optimize the damage dealt by the multi-attack. I really need the shield to dispatch Tremor safely, so instead of going for the bulky Buffalo, I decided to go with Butterfly Brave and leave some barks for the shield. And as always, instead of losing the warrior completely without killing the opponent, I prefer to spend the attack on the Shiboshi. The opponent will be forced to attack the Guardian anyway, but the extra damage dealt will already be recorded. Gentle Giant is an annoying card, because for 3 barks it packs high stamina, and if you do not kill it in 1 attack, its attack will increase by 4 on payback. And now the doggy on the left has an alpha trait, which gives 1 attack and stamina to all friendly warriors. So as a general rule, unless you're about to die and have no alternatives, always try to kill the alphas first. Finally, I use Bucky Buffalo, which has a redirect trait as well as mastery. The redirect acts similar to the shield, but instead of simply negating the enemy's attack, it returns it on the attacker, and adds its own attack as well. But if shield protects also when you are the one attacking, redirect only works if enemy is attacking you. If you attack first, it will do nothing for you. And mastery increases the force of any spells used by 1. So I dispatch the alpha, and since Panda cannot take out my guardian alone, I can safely use it to attack the Shiboshi. Finally, I use my bark token to protect the guardian with another shield, which must be really annoying for the opponent. And we get another birthday boy, at least what I think the dog is called. Glass Claws gave Sawtooth extra to attack until the end of this turn. Fentuta gives extra 2 attacks to a fighter and does 1 damage. So our 2/6 Panda got 2 attacks from the Fentutor, suffered 1 damage, and because of that got 4 extra attacks from its payback skill. totaling 8-5. This is the kind of synergies that you have to learn and use to your advantage. Well done, Rock Chick. Still, the shield saves the day. The 8 attack of Panda has been negated by 2-part spell, and all the extra attack cast on Sawtooth sunk into the sand with a total overkill of my Guardian. Personally, I wouldn't have attacked with Sawtooth this round if I was in the opponent's shoes. Anything attacking it would have died anyway, and I would have tried dispatching Guardian with the other cards next turn, before trying to attack Shiba with those heavy hitters. Of course, there was no guarantee they would survive until next turn's attack, but destroying it from the start is a 100% chance of not being able to use them next turn. Now I safely clear out Panda. Deal a great deal amount of damage to opponent's Shiba. Place an extra warrior. And turn my buffalo into an impenetrable guardian wall with a stand guard spell. Now opponent uses Talon Typhoon very well by attacking the middle fighter and dealing 2 damage to the adjacent ones. Still, it's far from enough to change the outcome of this battle. Even an extra birthday boy makes no difference now. I thank Rock Chick for a great game and a fantastic learning experience for you guys, and finish the match. I hope you found this match interesting and learned something new and useful today. If so, please like and comment, and of course subscribe, not to miss the next episode of No One's White Belt Chronicles. Take care and goodbye.